Nolan King here for MMA Junkie, and I'm being joined by Syndicate head coach, who is also the BMF head coach this around this time of year. John Wood, how are you doing, my man?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Of course, man. And you're down there at the ranch. How long have you been down there for now?
Let's see. I think going into the second week now, and we got one more week, and then end up driving out to Florida.
So you're driving out there. You
Yeah,
excited for that drive, or are you going to be sleeping?
He's got a pretty nice RV, so we'll jump in, do a little cross country drive. Should be a good time.
For sure. And let's just take a couple steps back here. For those people watching this that don't know, you're the head coach up at Syndicate MMA in Las Vegas, and you're down working with Donald Cerrone for the UFC 249 fight against Anthony Pettis. So how did this whole thing come about for you working with Cowboy? Because I think this is the first time you guys have worked together.
So I've known Cowboy for a little bit, and we've messed around, and I've held pads for him before in Vegas, and he's come into Syndicate a couple times, over the years, and he's been in and out, and like I said, we flirted with the idea, and for whatever reason, it just didn't never panned out. And then I've always I've got a pretty decent sized team there with a lot of fighters that I'm constantly working with and stuff, and Cowboy's all over. He's a crazy dude. He likes to, he's he's all over the place with his stuff, and I just was kind of one of those things where the timing and obviously everything that's currently going down in the world, I got some free time, and so it's kind of funny how it came about. They just they post something about the fight coming up, and I on Instagram, and I just made a comment about, hey man, I'll come down and clean the gym for you for a couple of weeks. I ain't got anything to do, and they actually hit me up and asked if I was free, and so I'm just coming down here to help with his head coach Jafari, and just filling some of the holes and tighten some things up. So it just the timing, everything just worked out.
Yeah, man, it seems like perfect timing, like you said, and coming into a camp where you're going to be working with such a veteran, seasoned guy. As a head coach, what kind of adjustments can you really even make there? Is it more about game planning? Is it more about just sharpening up loose edges, or kind of what was your goal coming into this camp?
Yeah, basically just we've got such a short time frame, and he's got a close group of guys that's already been established, have been working with for years, and so my job's not to come in and shake all that up and change all that, especially at this time. It's just to kind of pick a few things that we can make improvements, game plan, just like you said, sharpen a few edges up and just get him conditioned, get him ready, and go from there. The guys. Obviously, the dude's a legend. He knows how to fight. He's done this a million times. So, you don't want to come in and just say, "Hey, we got to do all this and do all that and make all these big changes," because that's usually detrimental to the camp and to the fighters. So, just kind of seeing what he likes to do, finding the flow, getting on the same page with him and the team, and just tightening up a couple things, and it's going real well.
Yeah, that's great, man. And I guess obviously Cowboy, his last fight didn't go his way, and it was a quick fight. But was there anything that you were able to kind of not necessarily take away from that fight? But I guess for people maybe that think that, oh, that's Cowboy, that's the Cowboy that we're going to see in this fight. What do you have to say to them? How's Cowboy looking? Does he look sharp? And what do you think fans can expect when they see him in the cage this time around?
Yeah, he's looking great, man. I mean, he really he's got a fire lit under his ass right now. I don't think coming off that last loss, and it's not sitting well with him, and he's definitely, from what I see, he's fired up, he's ready to go, he's motivated to train. We're training 2-3 times a day right now, hitting in the morning, working afternoon, night. And he seems to be really enjoying it again. He seems to be really enjoying the process and doing stuff. So I think you're going to see a super motivated Donald Cerrone in there. And I think that, he's going to go in there and get it done for sure. Losing sucks, and he's not a guy that likes to lose. And no matter what, people can say whatever they want, that fight, that's just how it happens sometimes. You go out there and Connor's one of the best guys in the world, and you get into a fight and things don't go the way you do, you get hit quick. And it can change everything. Until anybody's ever been in a cage with another human and gotten kneed in the face or punched or elbowed, your whole game plan can change like that. It can be over, it can be whatever. So, I just think you got to go in and kind of forget about the past. And he's, like I said, he's fired up. He's ready to rock. He's training hard. He's training good. Looks really, really good right now.
That's awesome. And this will be the second time that these two fighters have fought. That first fight, again, versus Pettis, it was quick and it was a long time ago. Is that something that you can even use when going through this camp? Is it worth anything to you guys, or is it just, is it not important?
I mean, yeah, obviously, there's things that you can take out of that fight and experiences. When you've been in there with somebody before, you have kind of a different feeling. But, when I go to look for game planning stuff, I look at, obviously what they've done their last few fights, and then I will look at what they did, years ago, if there's that kind of footage, which there is with Pettis. And if they're making the same, doing the same things, making the same mistakes, or doing the same kind of stuff, then you can kind of go with it. But I mean, I think they're both obviously have improved, and they're different fighters from when they fought first. So it's not like a huge weapon we can use, so to speak, or piece of material that you look at. But you look at all that stuff. So.
For sure. And we'll loop back around to Cowboy here in a minute, but I want to talk about you and your gym up in, in Las Vegas. So kind of with this whole pandemic and obviously your gym, I believe is closed, or at least to the masses, just like everything else. Have you been staying in contact with a lot of your fighters? What kind of coaching can you give your fighters when there's no necessarily facility for them to go train with you at?
Yeah, I'm definitely in contact with them. We are shut down. We shut down mid-March when everybody did, obviously, it's tough. The guys are going a little bit crazy in there, hitting me up every day about, hey, when can we train again? When can we do this? When can we do that? Everybody's going a little stir crazy, but we all stay in contact, either through text or calls or in Instagram. And, actually the other day we got on the Instagram live with everybody and kind of checked in, and everybody's ready to get back to training. This is a crazy thing, man. I've owned a gym. I've had my gym for almost 16 years now. I've never gone through anything like this. It's weird for me not training people. That's why, this opportunity was pretty awesome for me to be able to come down and still stay busy, because I'm a worker. I like to work. I like to put in lots of blood, sweat, and tears with these guys. So it's awkward for me not doing anything. But fortunately I've got JoJo, my fiance, and we obviously live together, so we were able to, set up some garage stuff and be able to keep, active through that and quarantine and things. So it's been difficult, but I hope we're coming to the tail end of this and we can, get past this thing and start getting back to normal.
And I recently spoke to a bunch of regional promoters about, the coronavirus pandemic and how it's impacted their business. But as a gym owner, it seems like that there's a lot of, obviously you guys might take a little bit of a bigger hit because it's a business too. So I know you don't speak for every gym owner out there, but what kind of, outlook do you guys have long-term on this pandemic? Do you feel like that the community, the MMA communities in the gyms themselves will be able to rebound from this thing?
Well, hopefully, it's a scary process for everybody right now, because you just don't know what's going to happen when everything opens up, And right now it's kind of cool. The landlords for a lot of our places and gyms are being, obviously they have to be accepting of, the fact is that we're a member driven, that's how we make our money. And if we can't, present, an open facility, then that's dead. I mean, just like with everything else. But it's really going to be interesting to see what the bounce back is. I think there's a lot of people fired up that are ready to come back to the gym, that want to go. And I think the faithful crew and the people that have been there forever are going to come right back. The worry is, what is going to do to the businesses, past this? Are people going to be scared to spend money? Are people going to be scared, especially for what we do as a full contact sport? You're sweating and spitting and snot and blood and everything, with people all the time, no matter what. Even if you're not a real fighter, it's a contact sport. You're in a very close proximity with other people. So it's going to be interesting to see what the parameters are, what they're going to, what the government's going to say we can do. I think a lot of people are fired up to come back. But the other side of it is that, what are people going to be willing to, spend money? People are going to be scared about, getting back in there and spending money and going out and doing things. So, It's really kind of it's kind of up in the air with everybody right now. I really don't think that any of us know. My feeling is that I think we're going to bounce back, and within a few months everything will be okay. And as long as the banks and the landlords and people are accepting of that, we can all get back to normal. I think by the end of the year we should be good. But you just don't know, man. It's a scary time. I mean, I've never been out of business before, so it's a trip.
Yeah, man, it's a lot of uncertainty out there, and I know everybody's pulling for everybody to be able to rebound and get through this thing, and hopefully that's the case. But a couple more things before I let you go. Let's talk about JoJo. She obviously had a big opportunity that was in front of her with the title fight that was supposed to happen in June, and Valentina Shevchenko got hurt, and now the fight, obviously the event maybe wouldn't happen, would have been postponed anyways. So can you kind of give me an update on how she's doing and what the outlook is from you guys on her end?
Sure. JoJo's, she's fired up. She's been waiting for this opportunity her whole career. And obviously for the last year, we've been kind of on deck, knowing this was going to be the eventual, projection of her career was to fight for the title. So when when it got announced, we were obviously excited and stoked. And then literally right after, everything got shut down. And then, so we figured it was going to be pushed back anyways. So I guess, I don't know if Shevchenko, I guess I heard she had an injury from before. So maybe she just decided to get that fixed up. So yeah, the fight's definitely going to get, postponed and pushed back to what I'm hearing is maybe August. JoJo stays ready. She's one of those people that just trains religiously every day. If she's not, in Syndicate, she's at the PI, and right now, obviously with both of those being closed, she's doing her home workouts. We've got a full gym set up in the garage and inside the house, and we're hitting pads every day. And she's, strength and conditioning on her own. And the PI has been real good about setting up programs and sending them to her. And they actually even, loaned us some stuff to be able to use. So staying in shape, I think the hardest thing for everybody right now is just kind of staying motivated. Well, that's just like craziness where you can only kind of do so much. But, she's ready. When the time comes, she'll get in there. And no doubt in my mind, you're going to see a new champ coming out of that division.
Right on. Looking forward to it. My last question, I said we're going to loop back around to Cowboy. So if I'm a fan, and I am an MMA fan, I'm a reporter, but I'm a fan. If I sit down on the couch, or when I sit down on the couch to see Donald Cerrone's fight, what do you think the biggest takeaway is? When that fight ends, what am I going to walk away thinking about Cowboy?
I think you're going to think what you've always thought, what everybody thinks. The sport is so fickle. You lose, everybody hates you. You win, everybody loves you. I think that Cowboy's going to. I know Cowboy's coming out of this fight with his hand raised. I do not see it going the distance. I think he will finish, Pettis in some fashion. And I think you're going to see a fired up Cowboy. I think you're going to see a different Cowboy in there that's just motivated to go out there and win this fight, and he wants it. So I think after this, everybody's going to be back on board with loving him and I mean, people say whatever they want to say, but Cowboy's a very well respected, if not one of the most respected fighters out there, and he deserves to be. So the fickle fans that, he lost this fight, whatever. But I think you're going to see, everybody fired back up about Cowboy, and you're going to see, him making another run at it.
Awesome, John. Well, I really appreciate the time today. Good luck with the rest of camp, and good luck with your travel across the United States, man. I'm looking forward to the fight.
Thank you, sir.